The good life, full of fun, seems to be.
Hey guys, welcome to my kitchen. Another exciting day in Joe's kitchen. Always an exciting day in Joe's kitchen. Today we're gonna make Caesar salad. I've got a great recipe. I just made it yesterday for one of the kids' functions. Absolutely delicious. I love Caesar salad. It's clean, it's crisp, it's tangy, it's sweet, it's salty, it's got pepper, it's got that edge to it, which is delicious. And one of the most important ingredients on a Caesar salad is the croutons. So I'm going to show you how to make the most delicious garlic, salt, pepper croutons you'll ever have. So this is going to be a delicious recipe. I'll show you exactly how to put it together. It's simple, it's fun, goes relatively quickly. So just follow along and have some fun and just get ready to have a great Caesar salad. So a quick background on Caesar salad actually. Caesar salad wasn't served to Caesar. It was actually originated in the 1920s at a restaurant, Caesar's. So that's where Caesar salad came from. And the original recipe of Caesar salad never had anchovies in it. So I'm not going to use anchovies. You could certainly use anchovies in any of your recipes and certainly tweak it any way you like. And if you like a little bit more of this and a little bit less of that, that's totally fine. But I'm going to show you exactly how I make it and what makes it absolutely delicious in our family. Okay? So moving forward, let's talk about croutons. I've got one long baguette of French bread. Okay? So I chop this up and a size of a crouton. So your croutons want to be cut into a bite size. Okay? So here's one little piece that I had left over. So just to kind of show you here what, you know, I'm going to cut it something that size in half. You can always quarter it, okay? So you want to put them in about that size. And then I've got a quarter cup of butter, melted butter, quarter cup of olive oil. So I took 3 cloves of garlic and I made garlic paste, but I'll show you exactly how to make that when I make the Caesar salad. And I've got 1 tablespoon of sea salt, my gray sea salt that I crushed. And then I've got 1 tablespoon of freshly ground black pepper, which I just did, okay? So what I want to do for you is I want to make the croutons first, and I'm going to toast those. So it'll take anywhere from 10 minutes to 15 minutes. So preheat your oven to about 400 degrees. And then we'll make that first while that's cooking. And how you're going to make sure that you never make a mistake, make sure you get your timer. I'm going to put it right in front of us so we don't burn the croutons because they're critical, they're crucial, okay? So we're going to get that going. And while that's going, we're going to make the Caesar salad. So let me kind of transition my cooking surface here with magic, and I'll tune right back with you guys. We'll show you how to make those croutons. Isn't that cool, the magic? Okay, so what I wanted to share with you is a little trick I do on making garlic paste. So you can use a mincer and so forth, but this is really quick and easy. You're going to take a clove of garlic, take your knife, give it a whack, right? And we're going to open up. Oh, do you guys love garlic? I love it. Smells phenomenal. Okay. So there's our garlic. We're going to cut that little stem area off, right? Because that's kind of coarse. You don't want to get bitten into that, okay? And then what you're going to do is you're just going to take it and slice it. Now, a lot of people ask me, you know, the best way to slice, make sure, A, your knife is sharp, and 2, you don't just push the knife down. You got to draw the knife through, and then see you're actually slicing it. You're keeping the nose of the knife on the board, and that way it just gives you the control. If not, you're going to lose control, okay? So now what I've got is I've got some thinly sliced garlic, okay? Put it in a pile. This is a little trick from Grandma Borea, okay? Nonna Borea, okay? So I'm going to put it in a pile. Now I'm going to get a pounder. Now I'm going to get a piece of saran, okay? You want to have it a good size because you want it to kind of seal around the outside, okay? So this is how I did all that, okay, because I took 6 cloves of garlic, okay? Now, what you do is you get a thought in your head of somebody that really ticks you off, that you don't like, okay? Now, I'm a very kind, loving person, so it's difficult for me to think of somebody. But in any case, I think I have somebody in mind, all right? So I'm just kidding. So, okay, so now I'm going to take this, and then you're just going to kind of tap it to get it going, all right? And then what's going to happen now is you're going to see the fiber of the garlic. You want to break that down. So I'm going to whack it a little bit here. Okay? And then as you see, as you're pounding, you're going to see some of it just melts away. And then there's going to be other bits where there's that fiber, okay? You can make a little sound with it. Go a little bit with the Frank Sinatra music, okay? Now I'm gonna pull that across, okay? And now it just looks like a puddle of mush, right? Then you take your cute little spatula here and you just draw it across, okay? And there you go. There's your garlic paste. Oh, that smells good. I'm gonna tell you, you put that on your mouth, and unless you're hanging with somebody else that put the same amount in their mouth, you're not gonna have any friends that day. I'm just gonna tell you straight out, okay? So I'm gonna pop that in there. And, you know, it's no wonder Dracula's not coming around. You know what I'm saying? Because that is seriously, that's like nuclear garlic, okay? So good stuff. So we're gonna pop that right in there. So that's how you make garlic paste. It's easy, it's quick, it's fast, it's fun. That's little Grandma Caroline for you, all right? So now I've got my croutons, which I show you, that you want to cut, you know, so you want to make sure you got a mouth bite, okay? I've got my melted butter, right? And I've got my olive oil. So 1/4 cup of each, and you're gonna marry those together, okay? And now what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our garlic, right? We're gonna put it right in there. Oh my God, look at that. There's a lot of garlic there, okay? So that's good. And I have some people, you know, that they'll message me and say, you know, can I cut back? I think you guys can use whatever you want. So if you want a little less, by all means. Sometimes I think, you know, with our recipes, if at the very least, if you don't like the recipe directly, but it gives you the inspiration to do something in the kitchen and have some fun, then I think my time has been well served here with you. So, all right, so now what I'm doing is I'm just gonna mix that up. You wanna make sure that the garlic's not clumping in there, okay? Because you don't wanna have a huge clump. And now I'm gonna use much of the pepper. I'm gonna save a little bit for when it comes out of the oven, okay? So I'm gonna put most of the pepper in there. Same thing with the salt. I'm gonna leave a little bit just to finish it off, okay? So now I've got that beautiful salt, butter. Oh my God, that smells absolutely awesome. Now I've got my to be awesome croutons, right? They're all in here, right? So what I do is I just make sure I get a great stir, okay? Just keep stirring it. And then you're gonna take a nice serving spoon and you're just gonna drizzle this over the top of the croutons, right? And then stir it up. I'm telling you, if you ever have a Caesar salad, the critical part of a Caesar salad are those croutons. So delicious, delicious, delicious. And then same thing here. I'm gonna see what'll happen is that garlic will wanna come to the bottom, right? And don't worry about the garlic because the garlic's gonna cook. So when the garlic cooks inside, I'm just finding a few that didn't get coated yet. You know what I mean? Whoa, whoa, there's a little guy out there. The minute I said oven and cook, you see how he jumped out of the bowl? He was a little scared. But the garlic will cook. So when the garlic cooks, it'll roast so it doesn't have that sharp flavor. It'll have a nice roasted garlic flavor. So you're not saturating this like you would like a dressing, right? You're not really saturating. You want to get a nice coat. Now what the oil will do, I mean, sure, it's got a beautiful flavor, but it's going to create that, you want to create a nice crisp on the outside of the crouton. All right, and then I'm going to take a pan, right? The oven, like I said, 400 degrees, and then I'm just going to put it right in the middle of the pan, all right? Now you're going to have some butter garlic on the inside the pan here. So I'll show you how to handle that in a minute, but so spread it across. The goal here is to get everything even and separate because you want the hot air to try to, you know, of the oven to try to get around each one of the croutons, okay? And if you don't, see now there's one right there. See how that one doesn't have a lot on it? So we don't want to have that bare. Beautiful, all right? So I got one there, so what I'm gonna do is just take a little bit of the sauce and make sure I get it coated. So there we go. So this is set at 400 degrees, all right? So I'm gonna pop this in, push it all the way to the back. Now I'm gonna set this for 10. It's probably gonna take about 15 minutes, but I'm gonna set that for 10. Now I've got a little extra salt, a little extra pepper I'm gonna set off to the side, so I wanna finish it with salt and pepper when it comes out, okay? So I'm gonna put that over there. Now, while that's cooking, we're gonna put together the Caesar dressing. It's gonna be great. So give me 1 second, let me get my ingredients with the magic of TV. I'll be right back. Hey guys, magic. Okay, so now I've got a large stainless steel bowl. Got a whip. Got my eggs. I'm gonna throw my eggs in. All right, now we're gonna take 1/3 of a cup of quality olive oil, extra virgin Italian olive oil. Oh my God, where can you get that? Let me think. Shameless plug time, Vito and Joe's. There's some oil right from the Puglia region, Ogliari variety, phenomenal, high quality, the real stuff, okay? So certainly we're using that high quality olive oil right in our dressing. So I'm gonna take 1/3 of a cup. I'm gonna dump that olive oil right in with the eggs, okay? And what you're gonna make here is, they'll call it is, look at that, isn't that beautiful, right? So I got the egg yolks in there. So I'm gonna hit the yolks, and then I'm gonna whip it, and you're gonna emulsify. They call it emulsified, okay? So what I'm gonna do, and one of the reasons I like a large pan with the whip, is I can draw it up. So if you guys can see that, I'm gonna draw this up along the side, and the eggs are gonna give it a silky flavor. They've got that fat and that the yolk. The yolk is a beautiful, rich flavor with the fat and the flavor of the egg. Some people have concerns on raw eggs. So a couple of things just to kind of put your mind at ease. Number one, the yolks have the lowest bacteria count of the egg, okay? And number two, you're essentially cooking an egg, not with heat, but chemicals. So you're cooking the egg with the acid of the lemon and the acid of the vinegar. So it's not as raw as you think it is, I guess. All right, so here we go. So we're gonna make sure that's really well emulsified, which it is. It's perfect, okay? Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start adding my garlic. All right, so we're gonna add some garlic. That garlic is gonna thicken it up greatly. And then we've gotta add our Parmesan cheese, okay? And you don't add a lot of Parmesan cheese, but you certainly, that'll be your finishing ingredient. And then here we go. So we're gonna just keep putting that together. Now what you wanna do is you wanna see that garlic break apart, that mush that we made, right? Break apart, beautiful. Now as soon as that's done, I'm gonna take my balsamic and my lemon juice, and make sure when you mix this, you're adding it nice and slow, okay? Because you don't want the egg to solidify because of the, look at that, isn't beautiful? All right, and then what we're gonna do is we're gonna add our mustard, okay? And the mustard's got a little acid to it as well. Mustard's made with vinegar, so we're gonna add our mustard. Let me try a little taste of that. That is good. I love mustard. You know I love mustard on a coney. Oh. All right, so now we're just gonna keep hitting this thing, right? And we see how nice and beautiful that is. Nice and golden. That is gorgeous. All right, so now I'm gonna add my salt. About a teaspoon and a half of pepper. And just keep whipping that puppy. Now before I add the cheese, and I'm gonna grate that fresh for you right here in a moment, I wanna make sure I've got this thing really well mixed. I want it almost smooth and creamy. So I'm gonna hit it like this for a moment. And then like I said, what I like about this is you just draw it up along the side to make sure that everything's mixed well, right? You know what's nice about making your own dressing too? You know exactly what's in it. There's no preservatives or artificial this or artificial that. Gorgeous. So let me grab my Parmesan cheese. Now we want to use the Parmigiano-Reggiano. That's certainly the best quality. And we're going to use about 1/4 of a cup. All right, guys, here we go. So that's a microplaner. You don't necessarily have to use one of these, but what's nice about a microplaner is, you know, just that. It gives you those microplane flakes. See that? So they're nice and thin. Now, why you want to use a Parmesan and why it's traditional is Parmesan's going to add your cream, you know, so it's got a high fat content, and so it just finishes off and it'll partly dissolve, so it'll finish off the dressing just absolutely perfect. I'm like, there's no other way to finish it off. So, and there's so many different variations of a Caesar. You know, some have Worcestershire, like I said, some will have anchovies. This is something that's just been a family favorite. It's delicious, it's fresh. So it's going to look like there's a little bit more there than there is because you know it's microplane here, so it's going to give you a greater volume. So we're going to use about 1/3 of a cup. And I know that just because, there you go. Here's the skill. You got to, how much of that can you get through without actually microplaning your finger? So that was perfect. If it starts showing red, you want to stop. All right, so there's our 1/3 of a cup. Okay, so I'm going to add that right to our final. And I'm going to save a little bit off to the side of my Parmigiano-Reggiano. Okay, and I'm just going to hit that with my final. And what will happen is as you let it set in there for a few minutes or moments, oh, it's crouton time. Right, as you let it set there for a few moments, those really thin pieces of cheese, everything just dissolves. It's going to be absolutely delicious, right? So that's easy. You got fresh, wholesome ingredients. You're mixing it. Okay, let's check those croutons. All right, guys, here we go. We're going to pull these out. That's 400 degrees, so no forgiveness if you touch something. And remember, they're still going to cook a little. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Oh my God, that is good. Okay, awesome, right? So what I'm going to do is just a pinch of salt over the top. Just gives it that, you know, the other salt dissolved, right? So this will just give it that little taste of salt when it hits your palate. And then we're going to take that last bit of pepper, same thing. Just hold it up a little so it spreads out nice so you don't get a good clump. Hey guys, all right, so do you want to say thank you to this little puppy right here? This thing, I'll tell you, this thing will save so many dishes. It's the simplest little thing, but you set it there, it just prevents you from forgetting. I don't know how many times you're cutting into something you forget. You're like, oh, that'll ruin an afternoon, right? All right, so there's our romaine lettuce. We got 3 heads in there just to give you a heads up as far as what this recipe will put together. And you're going to cut this. I cut the end off, and then you're going to cut this about anywhere from 1/2 to 3/4 of an inch. And one of the things that I'll always talk about is, you know, you don't want to bite into something like that. That's not fun to chew into. So, okay, but everything else should fall apart. So some of those cores, as sweet as they are, some people love them. So just cut them down, but you don't want to bite into some big, huge, you know, thing that is difficult. So you want that whole experience in your mouth to be a happy one, you know. So you're just going to cut this down so that 3/4 of an inch. And like I said, when I put a salad together, I want every bite to be as perfect as it can be. I like those greens, sometimes near the end. See how that's getting a little ugly, right? So before I always inspect everything. So before I put anything in there, I'll take it, make sure everything's cut, make sure there's no dirt or you know, something that didn't get cut through and you got some massive piece, any gray or brown, just get rid of it. Because you want salad to look fresh and beautiful, and sometimes these leaves will get a little bit longer, right? So on that outside. So not to make this complicated, but again, you don't want to get a huge, you know, you get something like that coming out of your mouth when you're trying to eat a salad, you know what I mean? So you want it to be all uniform size. There's our lettuce, which is perfect, okay? Now, aren't these beautiful? These are olive wood little mixers. Isn't that great, right? So you're just gonna toss that puppy here in a minute. So I'm gonna let those croutons cool just for a moment. Once those croutons are the right temperature, I'm gonna throw the croutons on first, then I'm gonna throw the dressing, we're gonna toss it, plate it, eat it. It's gonna be absolutely delicious. I'll talk to you guys in a minute. Hey guys, all right, so these cooled. So normally we taste stuff at the end, but I gotta taste one, let's see. Let me just find a little one. Okay, that'll work. Oh my God. That is, I mean, that right there is a meal to me. That's absolutely delicious. And what's great about that, you got the crisp on the outside. It's got a little softness in the inside. The butter gives it that savory flavor. The oil gives it that depth, that complexity, the olive oil. You got salt and pepper and garlic. The garlic's not overpowering. And then again, when you hit it with that salt and pepper at the end, you get that freshness of it, not the cooked in part of it. So just absolutely delicious. So this is great time. So what I'm going to do here, whoop, knocked my cheese over. I'm going to just add those right to my salad, okay? And I'm going to do a nice mix with our croutons. Just go easy because you don't want to break everything apart. All right? And my bowl's probably a touch small for this amount of lettuce. We wanted to put something out nice here for you, so All right, there you go, okay? So perfect, all right? So now we got a good mix. Now I want to add that dressing, okay? So I'm going to bring my dressing over here. I'm going to give it one final mix. You see that? You see a great Caesar should have some thickness to it. You know, it's not a runny, thin dressing, okay? And all your cheese is starting to emulsify and it's starting to cream. That's why I like to set it and hit it a few times. And it just gives you, oh my God. And it's so filled with delicious flavor, okay? So then what I'm gonna do here, I'm not getting it all. Many times, you know, the biggest challenge on a Caesar is you want a light dusting of the salad. You don't want to drench it, right? So I'm just gonna put a little bit of a drizzle over the salad, or the lettuce, if you will, and croutons, right? And then I'm gonna do a really light mix, okay? And then what you're looking for, you're not looking to coat everything. What you're looking for is, oh, that's beautiful. You're looking for it to see that it's evenly distributed throughout, but you don't want it, again, coated with the dressing, okay? And like I said, this bowl's probably just a touch small, but we're just gonna make it work. Perfect, okay? It's gonna need a little bit more. I got a nice even spread, just a drizzle more, there you go. Perfect. Beautiful. That's probably all we're going to need right there. And then you're going to mix it. Now remember, I just hit it with a large amount, but you want everything to have a little bit of the Caesar. So you want the croutons to have a little bit of a hit along with everything else. And what I do is my last bit of inspection in here, I just want to make sure there's no big clump of dressing anywhere, right? And there isn't. It's perfect. Beautiful. And then what I'm going to do is clean up, because I think I lost a piece here or there. I lost a crouton. Oh, look at that. Interesting. Beautiful. All right, so now let me show you how to plate this, just to make it look beautiful and delicious, and something to be proud of. Talk to you guys in a minute. Hey guys, all right, so I got a nice little plate here. So what I'm going to do is, see how the mix, the ratio there of your croutons and your lettuce, oh my God, it's perfect. So, because a crouton is a big part of a Caesar, right? So let's do that. That's a perfect portion right there. I'm going to set that aside. We're going to have a room full of people here in a few. Make sure everything's delicious. Okay? So there's our plate. And then what I like to do, again, take that microplaner and just hit it. Your finish is going to be just a little flake of that Parmesan, which is going to give it that cream flavor right over the top. Look at that. Oh! Could you get something more delicious than that? That, my friends, is a delicious Caesar salad. All right, guys, favorite time. Let's taste it. So, first off, presentation's perfect, right? You got the croutons, perfect ratio, the lettuce. Okay, so we did the 3 heads, we did 1 long baguette, and it's just got a beautiful, when I say coating, everything's got a nice cover. So I'm going to get 1 crouton and some lettuce is what I'm going to do here. So, oh, you can smell the garlic, the salt, the olive oil, butter from the crouton, and Parmesan. Oh my God, that is good. Absolutely perfect. You know, it's got that salt, the pepper, the tang. You get the little bit of that mustard comes out. The acidity. Oh my God. One more. On camera. I'm gonna eat the rest of it after. How are you supposed to do a cooking show and not talk with food in your mouth? I don't understand how you're supposed to do it. The best Caesar salad I think I've ever had. Absolutely delicious. You know what's fun about that? It's great. It's one of those great salads that you can have. Goes great with meat. Goes great with fish. You're gonna have it in the winter. Delicious in the summer with that lemon. You know, crisp and clean and fresh with fresh ingredients. Oh my God, so awesome. Love Caesar salad. Certainly love sharing my recipes with you. Certainly love the comments and the discussions that we've been getting into, and just the inspiration I think that we offer for some people just to get up and spend some time in the kitchen with their friends and family and so forth. It's been great sharing my heritage, my traditions with you. Hopefully you'll take some of these recipes and some of these videos, share them with other people. Certainly subscribe to our channel, and hopefully you'll set some of your own traditions and explore your own heritage with your family. Guys, have a great week. Bon appetit. Talk to you guys next week.
It's the